Right now, we will be looking at adding a digital rubric to any Google Classroom assignment that you have the students turn in. It's going to automatically add a rubric up towards the top where it's going to make it really easy for you to grade against that rubric and for students to see the results of that assessment. First thing you'll need to do is log into your Gmail, go to your Google Drive account. You will need to open up a Google Sheets page, just a blank one. Because first thing we need to do is to create a roster for this assignment. The add-on Doctopus, that's going to help us to create a roster. So when you go over here to add-ons, you click, we want to go to get add-ons. We're going to look for Doctopus. So we just have to type it in here. There it is. We just go ahead and add that. It's going to ask us for permissions. We're going to allow. With this little pop-up, you can go ahead and click here, and what it does is it takes you to their blog or their community where questions are answered, tips are given out. So you can always go there if you want to take a look and see what they have there. But I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Now over here you have two options. You can ingest a Google Classroom assignment or distribute Drive resources to a roster. What we are going to do is ingest a Google Classroom assignment. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. All right, and then choose the class that you want to get the assignment from. I get to select my assignment. I'm going to click on here. It says only ingest files that are turned in. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I'm going to ingest the assignment. And so what it's doing is it's going to create a spreadsheet for us where it has student name, the link to the document, all of that good information. So these are the assignments that I have turned in. It sends you a little note. Do not change the header name. Don't change that at all. And we're going to go right here and we're going to attach a rubric. Grab the rubric that you actually want to use. You can grab it from your Google Drive. If it's not something you recently did, you could go here and it will allow you to choose the rubric from there. It gives you a couple of options. Make rubric viewable to students where they can see it. Allow self-peer assessment. And then send email notifications to students. You can do that. And I'm going to attach my rubric. You'll also notice here they have examples for you to follow. You can grab those and then make changes however you need to. Let me talk to you a little bit about the rubric. So when you create your rubric, it gives you a couple notes here to make sure you do certain things when you set it up. Cell A1 has to be blank. And then right over here in this column, none of them can be repeating. And then this is across the top is where you'll put your numeric scores. And it tells you on here, in this case, Goobric will also allow for partial scores to be recorded as well if you decide to do that, if you decide for 1.5 or anything like that. So that's the setup that your rubric needs to have in order to be able to work in Goobric. Let's go back to our Doctopus report. The spreadsheet gives you the student names, their email, so then you can email them back their rubric. The rubric link is right here, and then the file name, and then the link to their file name, and then it tells you whether the student turned it in or not. If you scroll along the bottom here, you're going to also notice the categories for your rubric that you've attached. Also down on the bottom, the first sheet is blank. This gets you to your Doctopus roster. And then this gives you overall scores for any rubrics that you've graded. What I want to do is go to the rubric link. So when I click on this document, so we're going to have the assignment that the student turned in. So up here at the top, we have the different categories that we've chosen to assess the student on, and then we have the numeric values for each one. So as I go through and grade the student's essay response, I can look at this and I could say, okay, her critical analysis, she's at A2. And then I would choose that option and then it automatically puts in there. If she's a 3, we'll put it there. It'll update for her right here. When I want to start to look at evidence and support, if she only had 2 sources, then we'd go in there and click that. If you want to add any comments for the student, you can add them here. You can also do audio comments if you'd like as well. If you want your students to be able to comment back to you, you can check this right here. If you want to look at the full document, you don't want to see it halfway, you can just click on this button and it'll take you to the full assignment. You can just exit out whenever you need to. So if you need a larger screen to look at, you have that option there. You will also have the full functionality of being able to comment on the Google Doc with the highlighting and commenting feature, as well as your commenting feature that you have up here with Goobric. Once you're done assessing the student, you click Submit. And then what it'll do is bring your rubric down here so that the student can see where they scored. If you add an audio comment for the student, make sure you go in and double check this. You have the option here to go back and listen to it. And then what you can do is you decide to trash it or download it. So when we download it, it's going to automatically create a file in our Google Drive, and I'll show that to you in a bit. Gives you your options. We want to click submit so that it goes in there. You'll notice that it did it twice. It's because this is the previous one that I entered. So what it will do with your Goobric is paste it down here at the bottom. And then the student has the link. They can click on it. And then they can listen to the comment. And it'll have it right there for them. Take a look at what's happening in your Google Drive when you're working with Doctopus and Goobric. When you click over here, what you will see is some untitled spreadsheets. So when you click them to open them, okay, you'll see the first one, which is our Doctopus roster, and then the rubric scores as well. You'll see them all written down here. The audio comment that I left, there'll be a link to that as well. And any other comments that you have will be posted right in here. Also in our Google Drive, when we go in here, Doctopus data, when we click on this, we're going to see that we have an audio file, and that's where our audio tracks are. So we have that ready record. Now, just a word of caution. It will really mess up your ability to work with Doctopus and Goobric if you go in there and start deleting files. You'll notice that you also have some other options over here. So you could display average scores, refresh edits and counts if you need to do that. Look for new submissions, which is nice when students turn in late work or if students go back in and make changes. So if you need to add a code teacher so both of you can go in and assess student work. And that's a quick rundown on how to attach digital rubrics to your Google assignment.